What's up, guys? My name is Chaos, and I wanted to bring you a review about my favorite game I'm currently playing. I play this game just about every single day. I log on every day, maybe play a match or two. But the game in question is called Smite. It is a free-to-play MOBA. MOBA is a multiplayer online battle arena, just like League of Legends, just like Dota 2. However, there is one big difference that, in my opinion, puts Smite above the rest of the games. Because if you're not used to MOBAs, if you haven't been playing them, for your entire life, that can be tricky to get used to because you're sitting there, you're clicking around the map, you're trying to get your character to move correctly. It's kind of difficult to dodge enemies' abilities. Well, the good people at Hi-Rez, who are the developers of Smite, have decided to make it so much easier for Joe Schmo gamer like myself, and that is bring that camera down from way the heck above the battlefield, bring it down to that third-person perspective, and change up the controls so that way you're not clicking all over the map like a lunatic. The controls are WSAD. That's how you move your character around. Is same controls as what you'd find in a standard first-person shooter, and just like a first-person shooter, you're aiming with your mouse. So if you've never played a MOBA before, this alone makes the game so much easier to jump in and pick up. It is tremendously easy compared to what I personally experienced with the other types of MOBAs that I've played. And bringing the camera down like this and making it to where you have to aim with your mouse, that makes it a little bit more skillful in my opinion, because in some of the other games, you click on the enemy god and then you activate your ability, and that ability automatically hits that god so long as you're kind of within range. That's not the case here. The case here is you pull up the ability you want to use, and you can see I got a crosshair there. You pull up the ability you want to use, and then you actually have to fire that ability. You may or may not hit your target. Your target may or may not be able to dodge that ability, and that alone kind of changes the game, because if you're skillful enough to actually predict where somebody's aiming and to dodge that ability, you can be a real pain in the butt for your opponent, because they're constantly wasting their abilities and they're wasting their mana. I mean, you saw, if you were paying attention, you saw that took a sizable chunk of my mana firing off that ability. So if I miss, especially in like the early game, boy oh boy, is that really going to suck, because it's going to take a while for me to be able to fire off another ability because of the cooldown and because of the amount of mana that it requires. So that is one of the big things you'll find in this game. Even your auto attacks have to be aimed. As you can see, there's a bracket surrounding the person that I currently have targeted, but if I go off of it a little bit, obviously I'm not targeting anybody there. So you have to actually be able to gotcha. You have to be able to aim in order to play this game. And that is one of the great things about this game, in my opinion, is it requires a little bit more skill, but it's also a lot of fun. It's a lot more action-packed. Standard MOBAs, it's like playing a game of chess. You have this top-down view of the board. It's a strategy game, but the difference is it gets kind of boring when you have that top-down view. This, Smite, is more like Wizard's Chess from Harry Potter. And specifically, it's like the Wizard's Chess they played in the, I don't know what it was called, Chamber of Secrets maybe, I can't remember. That big chessboard where they had to actually be the pieces themselves. And of course that was crazy because, oh my gosh, if it's Wizard's Chess, if those pieces get killed, they get killed. That's kind of the way this game is. Gotcha. Right now I'm just going up against some stupid little AI bots. They're not the brightest thing in the world, but that's the nice thing about these practice rounds and playing against AI, is you get a chance to really practice the characters that you're playing. And that gives you an opportunity, if you know the character you're playing as, then when you get ready to jump into competitive multiplayer, you know what you're doing. You're not kind of flying blind like you would with some other games where they may not have a practice mode, which last time I checked, I don't think League of Legends really has that. I couldn't figure it out, though, because when I logged on, a couple weeks ago, game wasn't running properly, and I could not figure out the interface, and I didn't really want to waste too much more time on it. So this is the main screen. Gonna bring you back out, show you what the main screen looks like when you first log in. You have your standard stuff, your profile, which tracks your stats, social, where you can refer a friend, check out the clan that you're in, the leaderboards for League, which I'm not a part of yet because I don't have a high enough rank. I have to be level 30, so I'm almost there, but not quite. And your in-game store where you can purchase stuff. So we're going to go over to the Gods tab now. This is a free-to-play game, and you'll notice I do have in-game credits. When you have the free-to-play version, you don't have any gods, except the free rotational gods that they offer you like each week, which is nice. It's pretty standard in most MOBAs. But Smite does something different than things like League of Legends. League of Legends, if you want to buy all the gods, I don't know. I think I've read on the forums it could cost you like a few $100s to purchase every single god that they, or excuse me, every single champion that they offer. Hi-Rez believes that's stupid, just like I believe that's stupid. Hi-Rez said for $30 we'll give you every single god that we currently have in the game, and any new god that we make we'll also give to you. It's called the Ultimate God Pack, $30. I think it's a great investment. And I got it right away, so that way I didn't have to worry about wasting my in-game credits on a god that might not be so great. So I had plenty of time to play with all the gods and find out which ones I like. Now, I keep calling the characters gods. In League of Legends, their champions are kind of based loosely on mythology. In fact, there's one champion in League of Legends called Wukong. Well, here we have Sun Wukong, which is the actual mythological god, I believe, from Hindu mythology. And so that's one of the cool features about this game is the gods that you're playing as, you've read about them in mythology and in literature. And I think it just makes it a little bit more fun. You know, you got Ra, the sun god. You have Thor, god of thunder. Not to mention each god, they give a lot of attention to it. There were some champions in League of Legends that didn't have much attention to detail. Almost every single god has, I think, at least 5 different skins, including the starting standard. This is the heavy metal Thor. He's basically dressed up like some heavy metal rock star or biker. You know, here you got Thor with a different type of armor. And to me, this is what makes this game very unique, is they spend a lot of time to create a lot of different looks for a lot of different gods. Scylla, you might remember that, I think it was like the 6-headed monster. Little girl, kind of cute little girl. Well, they come with various god skins. This one's their newest one. It's for Cognitive Gaming, who just won the Smite World Championship. That's right, because they won the Smite World Championship, the folks at Hi-Rez gave them their own god skin. So I think that's very cool of the developer to do that. And Hi-Rez listens to the players. They're playing this game as much as as much as we are. So they're constantly balancing the gods, and this is a very well balanced game. So I've spent a lot of time talking about the gods. Let's go over here and talk about this other tab, the Wisdom tab. Here you'll find that they'll have a live tab where they're streaming their Twitch channel live to the game itself. There are video tutorials where you can go through and learn more about the game. You can go through and watch some of the professional teams playing. You could go through and the god guides. Let's say you don't spend the $30 on the game and you want to buy a certain god. Well, here you can go through the long list of gods that they have, find the god that you really like, and then from there you can watch the video and learn, okay, is this the god that I want to play as? And the thing that they do that's so neat with this is they don't just say, oh yeah, this is a great god, his abilities are great. They break it down bit by bit. They first start with the lore of the gods. Now this is an older video, so I can't say for certain how accurate this are. So I'm going to go to one of the more recent videos once they started to establish, once they got the established order going. They usually start off every video with the lore of each god, their mythology behind them. And my internet's acting up right now, so that's great. So they start off with the lore, then they'll go into the abilities of a particular god. For From there, they'll actually go into a fighting scenario. So you're not just hearing about, oh, this is the god of death, and he goes out and he reaps the souls of those who have passed. It's all fine and dandy, but it's kind of lame. Then they'll go, of course, show you the abilities, what they do, and how they help. And then they go into my favorite part, which is the fighting scenarios. In the fighting scenarios, they actually show you in-game footage of this is how his abilities all kind of work together in a real-world scenario to win the game. And to me, that is one of the great things about it is if you don't know what you're getting from a god, watch these videos and you'll quickly learn what you're getting from that god. And it's one of the great things that Smite offers, and it's one of the things that separates it. When I played League of Legends, if I wanted to learn about a particular champion, I'd have to go to YouTube, and then after watching a dozen videos, I would basically know nothing about the champion, because one YouTube video would say, yeah, this is the greatest champion of them all. Another YouTube video would say, don't even bother wasting your time on this particular champion because it's just garbage. And I hated that. I never knew what I was getting out of what I was purchasing, and I would end up spending so many hours playing the game, building up my in-game credits just to purchase a god that at the end of the day is garbage. And you don't have to really worry about that too much here because of the videos they offer. Alright, so let's go on to the play segment. This is going to be the last thing I talk about because I'm getting a little long-winded now. The practice session. This is where you could go through the basic tutorials of the different game modes they have, but then you can go and compete against a computer AI in all of their different game modes. So that way you have a chance to practice and kind of understand what's going on in each game mode. The co-op is where you already kind of have your team set up, and you can jump in and it'll match you up with other players. The normal mode, you have this is you competing against other players, your standard matchmaking type stuff, and you can see there's quite a lot to choose from. Arena is a 5v5 in a very close, tight-knit area. It's pretty much just pure fighting, team fighting all the way. Conquest is your standard game mode of most MOBAs. Assault is very similar to Conquest, except you have 2 lanes and 4 players. Or excuse me, it's a single lane with 5 players. Siege is where you have 4v4, very similar to Conquest. Joust is 3 people fighting in another small area. Open Fire is actually a new game mode. I have not had a chance to try it out yet. Hi-Rez is always adding new stuff to this game, and it's sometimes hard to keep up with it. League is going to be your competitive multiplayer. And once you get to the League, you, for the most part, shouldn't have to worry about people who don't know what they're doing. As you can see, it's only available at level 30, so I'm level 22. You have to play a lot of this game and really understand the core before you can even start queuing up in League. And it's highly competitive, so if you doubt your abilities, I wouldn't get in there just yet because people tend to take it very seriously. And you have your custom game modes. So there's a lot of things to choose from. If you want to just play around with your friends, go into custom or co-op, or if you just want to practice with particular gods and kind of understand their abilities. That's what the practice game mode's for. They did a very good job with Smite. I applaud Hi-Rez and all the hard work they put into this game, and that's why I'm making this video. I want to get the word out about it. So hopefully you liked this video. Hopefully it opened up your eyes to what a MOBA can be. Maybe you've tried League of Legends and you didn't like it. I recommend you try Smite. They did so many things that make it easier for a non-MOBA player to jump in and have fun. They're even bringing it to Xbox One. That's how good of a job they did with the computer version to where they can bring it over to Xbox One. And really it's going to be a seamless transition, in my opinion, for the most part anyways. So if you like the video, please give Smite a try. You can quick Google search of Smite and Hi-Rez, and you'll be able to find it and download it. It shouldn't take you too long. It is free to play. I hope you'll give it a try. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. My name's Chaos. I'm around the Dawnbreaker forums a lot, and oftentimes I'm also watching in some of the streams too. ask Snoov or Epona if you can't get hold of me, because both of them have my email and they can quickly get hold of me as well. So I hope you liked it, and I'll see you on the battlefield.